Well, we're going to talk about convention and tourism. It's one of our favorite subjects to talk about because A, it's fun, and B, it brings in a lot of money for Omaha without a lot of cost. And we have with us an expert, our good friend Deb Ward, the executive director of the Omaha Convention and Visitors Bureau. Good morning, Deb.
Good morning, fellas. How you been?
Good. It's good to have you back on the show. I was looking at the calendar, and this is hard to believe, but it's been several years since we've interviewed you on Grow Omaha.
Well, we had a little thing called the pandemic, and maybe that impacted us a little bit.
Yeah, it took a little bite out of your business, probably about as much as any during that period of time.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Deb, I do have to talk to you, though, when we speak about the business side. Recently read a couple weeks ago that Omaha hotels not only have recovered quite nicely from the pandemic, but last year they had their all-time greatest revenue ever in history.
And higher than 2019.
Oh, much higher than 2019. Yeah, Omaha hotel revenue hit $251 million in 2022, up 25% from 2021. And as you mentioned, before the pandemic, in 2019, it was a fairly average year for Omaha hotels. The revenue was $219 million, so quite a jump. And everyone says, well, that's because the prices are higher. Well, and that is part of it, absolutely.
And we have more hotels.
Excuse me?
And we also have more hotels, places to stay.
We don't have any more hotels. Basically, the supply has not increased, maybe 0.02% or something like that. You know, when we lost, like, the big hotel at 72nd and Grover, I always still call it the Holiday Inn, right? But
Holiday Inn Central.
Right? We lost that, but a couple more smaller hotels are going up in those positions. So basically, supply hasn't increased very much. So price for an average hotel room in Omaha did go up, but so did demand. We had about a 9% increase in demand over 2021. So it's a little bit of both.
So, Deb, is that primarily business driven, or is it convention, visitors, weekend travel driven?
Yeah, you know what? It's leisure driven. It's families coming in, it's couples coming in, it's girlfriend getaways, it's guys getaways. It's a huge increase in leisure demand. In fact, when you talk to the airport about last year, they looked out into the concourse and they saw a completely different audience than they had seen before. Typically business travelers, right, and convention travelers. Nope, they saw a bunch of families in the airport. So that pent-up demand and all of that money we saved during the pandemic, it's still making an impact. People are traveling.
And the more events we get, when the zoo gets a new attraction and expands, when Steelhouse Omaha opens up, now the Luminarium opened today, all these things add. Can you feel the effects of that when there's a big concert in town?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Luminarium, as you mentioned, opens today. Steelhouse Omaha opens mid-May, and then you've got the rest of the Riverfront Park likely opening in mid-August. From a tourism perspective, even the announcement of these things is making an impact for us. You know, all of the current growth and anticipated growth makes our city a more appealing destination, you know, for leisure travelers, for convention and event groups. And we're so excited because we have a brand new city to sell. You know, it's been a while since the city has had seen this much growth in the downtown area.
This isn't your father's Omaha, I guess you could say.
Excuse me?
This isn't your father's Omaha. It's a new Omaha.
5 years ago, right? 20 years ago was when CHI Health Center was built. We are a relatively young convention destination when you think about it that way. But that's really been the biggest development. And then the stadium. Then we've had downtown. This is just like a huge surge of development downtown. And you know, when you're the organization that's dedicated to promoting and selling the city, having a new product to sell is very exciting.
So I'd be remiss to not bring up your familial relationship with your favorite nephew. He says you're his favorite aunt, and that would be Joel Ward of Twist of Fate Estate Sales, along with his gorgeous wife, Tashelle, who happens to be at 12504 V Street in Oak Hills today and tomorrow for another sale. So check that estate sale out. But what's your earliest memory of Joel Ward?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I do.
Yeah, Yeah, that's kind of what I say about him.
I love Joel. He's actually like my little brother, to be honest with you. I grew up in a huge family. I've got 12 siblings, and Joel is the oldest son of my oldest brother.
Wow.
And he and I were, well, I'm a lot older than him, but we feel like we're around the same age. So yeah.
Excellent. All
He's a
right.
good guy. He's already texted me this morning.
That's enough on Joel. Let's get back to the show.
Back to regularly scheduled programming. We've got Deb Ward from the Omaha Convention and Visitors Bureau with us. Deb, with the Kiewit Luminarium opening today, we've heard things like this would be the type of attraction that would draw people from 500 miles. What's your assessment of that? Is that true? And how can we take advantage of that new attraction?
Absolutely true. When you think about it, it's such a unique space. And, we call it, it's called the Luminarium, but it really does illuminate the riverfront now. We've had restaurants in there that have come and gone, and there's Bob the Bridge is down there, but this actually illuminates everything and gives people yet another reason to go down to the riverfront. So it's just awesome.
So earlier, Deb, you talked about how the increase in 2022 lodging revenue setting a record was really leisure driven. How are we coming with the return of both just transient business travelers and then eventually, conventions? I mean, because, we obviously love citywide conventions. They're hard to get. How are we coming with those business and convention revenue sources?
We're making headway. Based on our booking pace here in Omaha, we anticipate a full recovery in group business, convention, and event business this year. But understand, we book 3 to 5 years out. So we've got kind of this long window where we're looking at the pace of business and how we're booking. When you look at 2019, our team booked about 161 meetings and events for about $147 million. Last year, we secured about 147 pieces of business for about $136 million. So we're this close to being back to pre-pandemic levels.
Hey, one other thing I want to throw out there before we let you go, Deb. The Steelhouse Omaha and Kiewit Luminarium as attractions make a lot of sense, but I tell you, ever since the Jean Leahy Mall opened downtown, even in the dead of winter, I've been blown away by the activity level that I see on it, especially now that the weather has warmed up. And then you think about adding, the other two parks. I don't know if people travel to another city because there's a park, but the whole downtown area or the whole downtown atmosphere,
the vibe,
if you will, seems to be a lot different than it was a year ago. Are there ways, and if so, how, are there ways that you can capitalize on that, on attracting more people, especially given the fact that so many of our hotels and attractions are downtown?
You know what? We just had a group of 10 CEOs from national associations from Chicago in the city last week, and I'm talking everything from the National Association of Urban Planners to the National Association of Archivists. These groups never would have seriously entertained Omaha before. Last week they were blown away. And part of it is that open space, and they can see activity. When you have an active downtown, you have a successful downtown, and that's appealing to people who want to bring their convention or their event to the city because they want an active place for their attendees.
Okay, I guess I lied. One last thing, super fast. Okay. You have a new office. Tell us about that.
We do. It's so exciting. During the pandemic, we gave up our office space to save money. We've been looking, and we are now in Midtown Crossing. It's a wonderful space, easy access from anywhere in the city. We're so surprised. I live in Papillion. It takes me 12 minutes from my house to get to my office. It's easier access for our partners who want to pull up and visit us. That is our administrative office, however. We still have our Omaha Visitor Center in that downtown 10th Street corridor at 10th and Fardham. So that's where the visitors can go and get all of their information. But, yeah, we love it.
Oh,
it's awesome.
That's great, Deb. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
this was well overdue, and I appreciate you bringing us up to speed on so many Convention and Visitors Bureau-related subjects.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Deb Ward, head of the Omaha Convention and Visitors Bureau.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.